So Yash, we're doing from text number 22. So if you can please carry on.
Vedanam samavedosmi, devanam asmi vasavaha, indriyanam manashchasmi, bhutanam asmi chetana.
1 minute, Yash, please. Let's just say the invocation first, and then you do it again, right? So say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 3 times.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Thank you.
Vedanam samavedosmi, devanam asmi vasavaha, indriyanam manashchasmi, bhutanam asmi chetana.
Of the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind, and in living beings, I am the living force, conscious.
Rujanam shankarashchasmi, vetesho yaksharakshasham, vasunam pavakashchasmi, meruhu shikari namaham.
Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kubera. Of the Vashis, I am Fire Agni. On the mountains, I am
Purudasam chamukyam ma vedi partha brihaspatim, senani namaham skandaha, sarasam asmi sagaraha.
of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief, Brihaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya. Of bodies of water, I am the ocean.
Maharshinam brigurb aham giram asmyekam aksharam, yagnanam japa yagnosmi, satvaranam himalaya.
The great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental law. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas.
Ashvataha sarva vrikshanam devarshinam cha naradaha gandharvanam chitrarataha sedanam kapilo munihi.
Of all trees, I am the banyan tree. The sages among the demigods, I am Narada. The Gandharvas, I am Chitrarata. And among perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila.
Ucheshravasam ashvanam vedimam amrito bhavam airavatam gajendranam naranam cha naradipam.
Of all trees, no, of fruit is known me to be a Chaishrava, produced during the churning of the ocean nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavata. And among men, I am the monarch.
Ayudanamaham vajram denunam asmi kamaduk rajanashtasmi kandarpaha sarpanam asmi vasukihi.
Sridham, you there?
Of weapons, I am the thunderbolt. Among cows, I am the Surabhi. Of causes for procreation, I am Kandarpa, the god of love. And of serpents, I am Vasuki.
Anantashtasmi naganam varuno yadasamaham pitrinam aryamachasmi yamaha samyamatamaham.
Of the many-hooded Nagas, I am Ananta. And among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Departed ancestors, I am Aryama. And among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the lord of death.
Praladashtasmi daityanam kalaha kalayatamaham mriganam cha mrigendoham vainteyascha pakshinam.
Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlada. Among subduers, I am Time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda.
Pavanaha pavatam asmi Ramaha shastrabrihattamaham jashanam makarashtasmi shotasam asmi janavi.
Of purifiers, I am the wind. Of the wielders of weapons, I am Rama. Of fishes, I am the shark. And of flowing rivers, I am the Ganges.
Sarganam adirantascha madhyam chaivam arjuna adhyatma vidya vidyanam vadaha pravadatamaham.
Of all creations, I'm the beginning and the end, and also the middle. O Arjuna, of all sciences, I'm the spiritual science of the self. And among logicians, I'm the conclusive truth.
Akshara namakarosmi dvandvaha sama kasya cha aham evakshayaha kalo dataham vishvato mukaha.
Of letters, I am the letter A, and among compound words, I am the dual compound. I am also inexhaustible time. Creators, I am Brahma.
Mrityuhu sarvaharashchaham udbhavashcha bhavishyatam kirtihi shrirvakshanarinam smritir medadritihi kshama.
I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience.
Brihatsama tatasam nam gayatri chandasamaham masanam margashirshoham ritunam kusumakaraha.
Of the hymns, I am the Samaveda. I am the Brihatsama, and of poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of months, I am Margashira, November, December. Of seasons, I am flower-bearing spring.
Dyutam chalayatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham jayosmi vyavasayosmi sattvam sattvavatamaham.
I am also the gambling of cheats. I am the splendid, I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure. I am the strength of the strong.
Vrishninam vasudevosmi pandavanam dhananjaya muninam apyaham vyasaha kavinam ushana kavihi.
The descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva. And of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. The sages, I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers, I am Ushana.
Dandodamayatamasmi netirasmi jigishatam maunam chaivasmi guyanam yanam yanavatamaham.
Among all means of suppressing lawlessness and punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am wisdom.
Yachapi sarvabhutanam bijam tad aham arjuna na tadasti vinayatsyan maya bhutam characharam.
Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being moving or non-moving that can exist without me.
Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa esha tu deshata prokto vibhuter vistaro maya.
O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences.
Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam shriman urjitam eva va tad eva gachatvam mama tejo misha sambhavam.
Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creation spring from but a spark of my splendor.
Asava bahunaitena kim gyatena tavarjuna vistabhyahamidam kritsnam ekam shena stito jagat.
But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
Thank you very much, Yash and Sridham. You are the future of this chat group. In a few years, you will be speaking wonderfully. In such a young age, you've been trained. So that's wonderful. So let me
Thank you.
share my screen. So today we will continue reading. And I'm just thinking, let me see what we can do here. So we continue to read from Krishna book. So I need to stop my sharing. and then share this. Okay, so hopefully you'll see that. So we don't have as many people today, attendees. Maybe everyone's busy with Janmashtami. But anyway, welcome to all of you. It's always a privilege to be in your association, and especially to be reading Krishna book as we build up to Janmashtami. So just to do a quick recap of where we are in the Krishna book. So firstly, just a few points. The importance of reading and understanding, particularly what we're doing at the moment. In the 4th chapter, the 9th text, Lord Krishna says, Janma karma chame divyam, evam yo veti tatvataha, tvakta deyam punajanma naiti mam eti, so Arjuna. So Krishna says, one who understands the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So Krishna says in this verse that those who understand in truth the nature of his appearance and his disappearance does not, upon leaving this body, take birth again in this material world. So it's very important that we understand the transcendental nature of Krishna's activities. And Krishna has stressed 2 aspects of his activities here, his appearance in this verse. So we are getting this wonderful opportunity by reading Krishna book, and the benefits we get from this is truly wonderful. So before we read, I'll say the Mangala Charanam prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Malitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivashari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Om Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pacharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschachadeshatharine. So just a quick recap on where we are for those who've just joined us recently. So we are reading the 1st chapter of Krishna book, which is the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada says the Krishna book is the summary of the 10th canto. The scene has been set. First, we had the demigods go to the shore of the ocean in which the Lord is residing as Mahavishnu. They tell him, inform him of how much they are being burdened by the demoniac kings, especially King Kamsa, and they appeal to the Lord to appear. And the Lord assures them that not to worry, he will make his appearance. And then we go to the scene where Vasudeva has married Devaki. Devaki is the king of King Devaka, and Vasudeva is the son of King Surasen. And it's a very festive atmosphere with the 200 maidservants, elephants, music, and horses. And we have the scene of Kamsa, who's the brother of Devaki. He's holding the reins of the chariot, and it's just, everything is just perfect. And suddenly there appears a voice in the sky that tells Kamsa that he's such a fool. He's driving the chariot of his sister, whose 8th child is going to kill him. And Kamsa, being a demoniac person, he loses all control of himself, all control of culture, and he grabs his sister with the left hand by her hair, and with his right hand he takes his sword, ready to decapitate his own sister. So we see a complete transformation in Kamsa. He's apparently a well-wishing, loving brother of his sister, but as soon as his existence is threatened, his real nature comes out. This is the nature of demons. And then we've been reading this very wonderful section where Vasudeva, the wife of Devaki, starts to speak to Kamsa, appealing from various angles for Kamsa to reconsider his current mentality and action. And Vasudeva actually speaks in a most wonderful way. And as I was reading this again and again over the last few days, it struck me that Shukadeva Goswami, he dedicates so much of time in the Bhagavatam, in this part, the first chapter, to the instructions of Vasudeva to Kamsa. And I was trying to reflect on why this possibly could be so. As we've explained before, the 10th canto, the 10th book which we are reading now, it is the smiling face of Krishna. It is the highest transcendental knowledge. It is the most confidential of all knowledge. And this is being revealed to us. And although people are warned against jumping straight to the 10th canto, some people may not heed that warning, and they will do that. So my understanding is that Shukadeva Goswami has paused and is not quickly gone into the appearance. He's given so much of focus to some very, very important spiritual instructions, as we've been reading since Monday. The real deep spiritual knowledge Vasudeva is giving to Kamsa here. And this is to prepare for those people, even if they mistakenly or recklessly go straight to the 10th canto. This knowledge that Vasudeva is giving to Kamsa, it will immediately put them in the right consciousness, immediately. And so many wonderful instructions. Can any of y'all, maybe in your own words, tell me so far which of the instructions that Vasudeva has given to Kamsa that's really stuck in your mind, that really made you meditate on it? Anyone would like to share so far what we've read? Okay, while you think about it, I will share one aspect. The thing that really resonated with me when Vasudeva tells Kamsa, from the time we're born, we are dying. We are dying. Material life is like that. The moment we take birth, we celebrate, our birthdays, but actually every day we are getting closer and closer to death. So every moment in life is very, very precious, and we should use it in our best possible way. Anyone else has got any aspects of what we've read over the last 2 days that really made you think and meditate and sober us? Okay. You all there? You can hear me, by the way? I'm wondering if my mic is not on.
We can hear you, Prabhuji.
You can hear. All right. Wonderful. So let's move on then. This paragraph we're going to read now. I want you to pay careful attention to what is being said, because I would like one or two of you all to give me your own reflections on what Vasudeva is instructing comes on. Very, very important spiritual instruction. So can I ask, Chandra Chaitanya Prabhu, are you online? No, he's not. So anyone else likes to read this paragraph?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead, Shabani Mataji.
The luminous planets like the sun, moon, or stars reflect themselves in different type of reservoirs, like water, oil, or ghee. The reflection moves according to the movement of the reservoir. The reflection of the moon is on the water, and the moving water makes the moon also appear to be moving. But actually, the moon is not moving. Similarly, by mental concoction, the living entity attains different kinds of bodies, although actually he has no connection with such bodies. But on account of illusion, being enchanted by the influence of Maya, the living entity thinks that he belongs to a particular type of body. That is why that is the way of conditioned life. Suppose a living entity is now in a human form of body. He thinks that he belongs to the human community or a particular country or a particular place. He identifies himself in that way and unnecessarily prepares for another body, which is not required by him. Such desires and mental concoctions are the cause of different types of bodies. The covering influence of material nature is so strong that the living entity is satisfied in whatever body he gets, and he identifies with that body with great pleasure. Therefore, I beg to request you not to be overwhelmed by the dictation of your mind and body.
Thank you, Shabani Mataji. Very, very
Thank you.
penetrating instructions, Vasudev, so relevant to us. And he uses a beautiful metaphor, like the luminaries of the sun, moon, and stars, reflecting in different types of bodies, like the reservoir, like water, oil, or ghee. Now, can someone in their own words explain this metaphor and its relevance to us? What is Vasudev by explaining to Kamsa this metaphor of the sun, moon, and stars reflecting? What is the instruction we are receiving here?
The soul is like pure, just like Krishna is a soul. Krishna is the source, and the soul is pure, and it's reflected in different bodies. Is it that? That's the metaphor. Like it has nothing to do. The moon has nothing to do with the water bodies where it's being reflected.
Mm-hmm.
But we are thinking there are different moons in the water pots. So just like we are thinking now, I'm this body, so I'm thinking I'm a girl, I'm whatever I'm thinking. But soul has nothing to do with the body. I can be in an animal body, I can be in a plant body, I can be in a girl's body or a boy's body or whoever. But the soul has nothing to do with the body. But we are thinking we are what we are. I'm a boy, I'm a girl, I'm an Indian, I'm an American. That's what.
Yes, Rupa Mataji, that's really a very nice explanation. Very nice explanation. Wonderful. Thank you for that nice realization. I will read from the purport. As I was explaining to you, each of this verse is from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada has taken the verses and put them into in a prose form. So I'll read Prabhupada's purport to this particular extract. Prabhupada says, this verse gives a very good example by which to understand the different positions of the eternal spirit's soul in the material world, and how the soul takes on different bodies, dehantara praptir. The moon is stationary and is one. But when it is reflected in water or oil, it appears to take on different shapes because of the movement of the wind. So imagine there's a moon and there's a lake. And the moon is reflecting on the lake. And there's a breeze or the wind creating waves on the lake. And sometimes the moon takes on one shape and then another shape and a different shape, Prabhupada is saying, according to the movement. Similarly, the soul is the eternal servant of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when put in the material modes of nature, it takes on different bodies, sometimes a demigod, sometimes a man, a dog, a tree, and so on. Just like us, we have millions of lifetimes we've been here. Sometimes we've been a demigod, sometimes we've been a dog, sometimes we've been a tree. So the soul, falsely through identification with material body, it takes on a false identity. A false identity. And Prabhupada says, by the influence of Maya, the illusionary potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entity thinks that he is this person, that person, American, Indian, cat, dog, or whatever. This is Maya. Maya means that which is not. Like now we think, I am a male, I am an Indian, I am 50 years old, I'm a British citizen, I am a father. So many designations we've got, and we convinced ourselves that we are this person. We are this person. And we've been doing this for so many lifetimes. But that is just an illusion. That is Maya. We are none of this. We are none of this. So this is Vasudeva is trying to tell Kamsa, see Kamsa, you think you're a king. You think this is your sister. You think that this body is threatened. This is simply an illusion. You are acting out of illusion. And he said, therefore, I beg to request you not to be overwhelmed by the dictation of your mind and body. And this is a very nice instruction for ourselves. We must not be overwhelmed by the dictation of the body. The body will drag us, do this, do that, do that. Think that you are this. The mind will drag us in so many ways. But we've got to detach ourselves from the mind, detach ourselves from the body, and always think, Devera Swarup Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. I am eternal servant of Krishna. In any situation, simply, Prabhupada says, simply if a person always thinks, in any situation, I am eternal servant of Krishna, we will be able to stay above the dualities at all time. So what a wonderful instruction Vasudeva is giving to Kamsa. So Prabhupada is giving such nice instructions. And we would think that like some of us, as I'm even speaking now, speaking this transcendental knowledge, I'm getting a feeling about how I am not the body. And I'm getting a feeling quickly, so many things happening in my life. I can think, yes, this is just, I can just step back from all of this. And we read in the previous verse how this is just like a dream. Sometimes we dream we are a king. Sometimes we dream we are being chased by a tiger. Sometimes we dream we are drowning. But when we get up, and while we're caught up in the dream, we're experiencing so much of emotion. But when we get up, do any of us ever lament, oh, I was a king, now I am just me, poor me? Or do we feel, or the tiger was chasing me? No, we don't. We know it's just a dream. So for the soul, each material body, it is like a dream. Just like we don't get hung up over dreams, we should not get hung up over the material body. It is just temporary. For the soul, it is simply like a dream. Any reflections or comments on this wonderful instruction from Vasudeva to Krishna, to Kamsa?
So, Prabhuji, so dreams, how, what do they indicate? Are they from our past life, or is it something, you've been thinking about the night before?
Yes, dreams are, this mind, the material mind comes with the soul. It is subtle, but it travels with the soul. So the mind, it stores lifetimes and lifetimes of impressions. Sometimes very recent impressions, like often we dream about something that happened to us during the day, or something happened to us recently. Sometimes we dream about something that we have no experience of happening to us. And sometimes it's a mixture of the mind playing all of together. It's like it's a hard drive, the mind. It's stored, various impressions it's stored. So we dream about past impressions. Dreams come from past impressions. Yeah. Okay, shall we move on? Or is anyone else like to add anything?
Prabhuji, sorry, the bit about the covering influence of material nature is so strong.
Yes.
That reminds me of Indra taking the hog's body, and
Yes.
how happy he was in that miserable situation. And that's how strong Maya is, that even if we are in the most miserable situation, we are still so attached to that situation and to that body.
Such a wonderful point, Emma Mataji. I was also thinking of Indra when I was reading this point about he identifies himself in this way and unnecessarily prepares for another body. Yes. We convince ourselves, isn't it? Yes. This is me. This is me. Therefore, death is such a painful process. Although we are not this, it's like trying to wrench something, like somebody, you're holding onto something and somebody's trying to pull it out from you. It's like that we don't want to give the body. But the great saintly persons, the great devotees of the Lord, they've broken that connection. They only see them, their consciousness is absorbed in the I am servant of Krishna. I'm just servant of Krishna. Yes, Maya is so strong.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful realization, Emma Mataji. So we'll read on the next paragraph. Would anyone like to volunteer to read? Vasudev Das requested Kamsa.
Can I read?
Yes, please, Pinky, read, Mataji.
Vasudeva thus requested Kamsa not to be envious of his newly married sister. One should not be envious of anyone, because envy is the cause of fear both in this world and in the next. When one is before Yamraj, the Lord of punishment after death. Vasudeva appealed to Kamsa on behalf of Devaki, stating that she was his younger sister. He also appealed at an auspicious moment at the time of marriage. A younger sister or brother is supposed to be protected as one's child. This position is overall so delicate, Vasudeva reasoned, that if you kill her, it will go against your high reputation.
Again, so brilliant, Vasudeva is saying. Srila Prabhupada writes that envy is a symptom of the desire to be famous, to be the best, to be better than anyone else. When we have this desire to be better than others and to be famous, that's when envy comes within our heart. Srila Prabhupada writes, for a devotee, envy is very bad. And Prabhupada says, for one devotee to envy another devotee is an aparad. It's an offense. And you can see how brilliant Vasudeva is speaking to Kamsa. He's saying he's appealing to his desire for high reputation. He's saying if you kill her, it will go against your high reputation. So he's saying, I know he's thinking your desire is you are envious because you want to be the greatest. But actually, by killing your sister, and that he says, your younger sister, even worse, because it is said the younger are weak and dependent on the elder. That will ruin your reputation. So this envy is very, very bad. We have to always be very, very conscious of envy. And if it is emerging, we see it emerging in our consciousness, we have to address it. Srila Prabhupada gave a number of advice on how to overcome envy. Can any of y'all in your readings or your understanding tell us or inform us of some of the reasons that Prabhupada gave to overcome envy? One reason, I think we've been reading already in the this verses of Bhagavad Gita we've been studying recently. Can anyone think of the verse? Prabhupada gives the recommendation of how to deal with envy. Can anyone remember?
You serve that person.
You serve that person. Okay. Let me quickly go to a verse. Okay. In the 7th chapter, 8th verse, Krishna says, Purusham Nirshu. I am the ability in man. So Prabhupada says, when you see someone have some ability, and that is making you envious, then just think that ultimately all talents, all creativities are not the glories of those individuals, but rather they are the glory of Lord Shri Krishna. So just think to yourself, that quality that you are envying, that is a spark of Krishna's opulence. And Krishna has been kind enough to give that living entity that opulence. So why should I be envious of it? Now I want to read also another extract from you. My Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Giriraj Swami, he once said that he was feeling some envy in his heart. And this envy he felt was an obstacle to his Krishna consciousness. It was an obstacle to his development, his chanting. And they were in Surat, so he decided to ask Srila Prabhupada this question about envy. So he asked Srila Prabhupada that why am I feeling envy? And the first thing Prabhupada said is, can you think of any reasons not to be envious? So the first thing some envy appears in our heart, ask ourselves the question, why should I not be envious? And then Maharaj writes, I thought of many reasons. It was disturbing to my chanting and to my relationships with devotees. Further, I had reasoned that Krishna was unlimited and his service was unlimited. So why be envious if someone else had some service? It was not going to deprive me of service. Krishna can accept unlimited quantity of service from an unlimited number of devotees. And he can give unlimited mercy to the unlimited number of devotees. So if someone has a particular service, it does not hurt my chances of getting service. And if someone gets some special mercy, like sometimes we see some devotee getting some special mercy from the Guru or from Krishna, and we feel some envy. We should think, it does not hurt my chances of getting special mercy. It doesn't hurt my chances of getting service because Krishna is unlimited. It's when we have a scarcity mentality is when envy manifests in our heart. So Mars gives us wonderful reasons. And if someone gets some special mercy, it doesn't hurt my chances of getting mercy. Other devotees can have service and I can have mine. So why be envious? Thus, I replied to Prabhupada's question, and Prabhupada said yes. Then Prabhupada continued, all right, being envious means you don't like somebody. Now that not liking should be directed against demons who create so much of havoc in the world and cause disturbance to devotees. It should not be directed towards devotees. So Prabhupada is giving another wonderful, he said, this envy should be directed against demons, never devotees. We should never find ourselves being envious of devotees. And it works against us. If we want to have some reputation and fame, Lord Chaitanya asked Ramananda Rai, who is the most famous person? And Ramananda Rai replied, the pure devotee is the most famous person. Because of his humility, just because of his wonderful qualities, that devotee is appreciated so much. Not someone who is hankering after fame and reputation. So we'll pause for reflection on that. Any reflections on this particular verse or instruction from
Hare Krishna.
Vasudev? Hare Krishna, Sandeep Prabhu.
Also in chapter 9, the first
Yes.
first shloka is so brilliant.
Yes.
Where Bhagavan says,
Yes.
Arjun, because you are not envious of me, I am willing to give you the most confidential knowledge.
Yes.
I think he uses this word anasuyave.
Yes.
And,
Anasuyave. That's right. Yes.
And if somebody is not envious, he becomes a bit like Arjuna. All knowledge is imparted to him just because of the lack of envy towards the opulences of others, maybe towards other material beings or towards Krishna himself.
Wonderful realization, Sandeep Prabhu, and you chose the perfect verse where Krishna says, Idam tute guyata mam. Krishna says, because you are non-envious, Arjuna, I will reveal everything to you. And Krishna, when he sees someone's envious, envy blocks the flow of bhakti. Krishna doesn't reveal. But when he sees someone who is non-envious, Krishna says, I will reveal. I will reveal. Same with Guru, same with Vaishnavas. When they notice a non-envious devotees, they're willing to reveal what's in their heart. Because there's no inhibition that if I reveal something confidential, this person would take it in the wrong way. So it's very important instruction. Should we read? It's 8:30 now. Maybe we'll read the next verse also, and then we'll continue. Anyone like to read this verse? This paragraph, sorry.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I can read.
Yes, read, please, Rajshri Machi.
In this way, Vasudeva tried to pacify Kansa by good instruction as well as by philosophical discrimination. But Kansa was not to be pacified because his association was demoniac. Because of his demoniac association, he was a demon, although born in a very high royal family. A demon never cares for any good instruction. He is just like a determined thief. One can give him moral instruction, but it will not be effective. Similarly, those who are demoniac or atheistic by nature can hardly assimilate any good instruction, however authorized it may be. That is the difference between demigods and demons. Those who can accept good instruction and try to live their lives in that way are called demigods, and those who are unable to take such good instruction are called demons.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mataji, for reading that. Again, such wonderful instruction Vasudeva is giving Kamsa. He's saying that, Prabhupada is writing here, that Kamsa's mood, although he got all this wonderful instruction, and we've just read each of those instructions are just so relevant, so important. But a demoniac person, when you give them good instruction, what happens? They become angry. And a devotee, when he gets good instruction, what does he do? What does he feel? Grateful. Very grateful. And actually a devotee, whenever someone gives him instruction, even Srila Prabhupada is such a great personality. Once they were having the installation ceremony in a temple for the deities, and all the film crew were there, filming there. And the devotee were doing lots of things wrong. And Prabhupada was saying, don't do this, don't do this. And Prabhupada was like instructing them in a very forceful way. Then there was a young man in the audience there. He was fairly new. And he said, Swamiji, why are you getting angry? Why don't you sit and chant Hare Krishna? And Prabhupada looked at him, didn't say anything, took his beads and started chanting Hare Krishna. This is the world Acharya, the Jagat Guru. And this is a person, a complete novice. And when Prabhupada first went to America, there was a doctor, when he had his first heart attack, he was what is called a quack, a complete quack. Quack means he's like a crazy doctor. And the crazy doctor said, your guru, he's not getting enough exercise. Every day he should walk. He must go on a morning walk. And for the rest of his life from that day, every single day, Srila Prabhupada went on a morning walk. So a devotee sees whenever someone is instructing him, the first thought that goes through a devotee, Krishna is instructing me through this person. So a devotee takes anything that they're getting, instruction, in a very positive way, and in a way they see it as coming from Guru and Krishna guiding them. But a demon can never accept good instruction. They can never take. They become angry, they become revengeful, and therefore that is the difference between a demigod and a demon, or a devotee and a demon. So I'll stop here. I will take any reflections, comments, questions.
Prabhupada,
Yes.
sorry, Prabhuji, can I ask you a question, please?
Yes, sure.
We're talking about demons here.
Yes.
But we've heard quite a lot about demons.
Mm-hmm.
So in our present day situation, in our real life situation, I'm just trying to figure out who the demons could be or are. I'm sure there might be demons in our present day, real life situations. So would you classify demons in our present day people like who are corrupt, who cause injury to others, who do all the bad things? Would you classify them as demons?
Definitely. Definitely. According to Kali Yuga, it is said in previous ages, the demons and the devotees used to live in different planets. Then they said as time progressed, they lived in different countries. And as time progressed, they lived in the same families. But previously, they used to live in the same country. And in Kali Yuga, sometimes they live in the same body. Therefore, even within ourselves, we have demonic natures and devotees. But certainly, anyone, and they did a poll recently about how many people believe and accept that there is a God. And the results of the poll was over 50% of the people did not accept that there was a God. So in one sense, Prabhupada said, a devotee is someone who accepts the authority of God, and a demon is someone who denies the authority of God. So in one sense, this proves that at least 50% of our population are demoniac by nature. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his philosophy was, he never came to kill the demons. but he came to kill the demoniac nature. And by the chanting of the holy name and by distributing Krishna Katha, we can destroy the demonic nature, both in ourselves and in society. Does that answer your question, Mataji?
It does to a certain extent, because I was thinking of the actual word demons. We hardly use that word. I mean, I think people are scared to use that word because it seems like an atrocious word.
Yes.
I mean, the politicians would use words like terrorists or culprits or, you know, whatever. But I think the word demons describes somebody's demonic nature very well, and we shouldn't be afraid to use the word demons.
Yeah, there's different opinions on that. Certainly, Prabhupada used to commonly quote Jesus Christ. Hate not the sinner, hate the sin. So Prabhupada says, you know, as devotees, we see that everyone is inherently a devotee of Krishna, because that's the nature of the soul. But somehow or the other, they've been covered over by the demoniac tendency and influence of Kali Yuga. So a devotee by nature is very compassionate. And instead of condemning the demons, their first inclination is to see how can we change their demoniac nature. What can I do to help to change their demoniac nature? And they take risks. They take risk to do that, just like Lord Nityananda Prabhu did with Jagai and Madai. You know, so that was Prabhupada's mood, and we follow in the mood of our Acharya. That we see not the sinner, we see the sin, and we try to see how we can help them.
Yes, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Very good explanation, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. It was very, very helpful, the explanation of demons. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other reflections or comments?
Prabhuji, you know, you said envy is very much like not liking a person.
Yes.
And if so, if it is not liking a person, then could we get over our envy by glorifying or appreciating the person we feel envious?
Yes. Yes. We can, even it may seem artificial that, you know, I envy him. How can I praise? Never mind, praise the devotee. Just by nature of praising that devotee, Krishna will become pleased, and Krishna within our heart being pleased with us, he will help remove those tendencies.
So in that case, how would we differentiate between appreciation of someone and inflating their ego?
How will we
how would we balance, you know, that you're appreciating or glorifying the person, but not inflating their ego at the same time?
Oh, okay. All right. We should make the praise proportionate. Proportionate, you know. Praise them in a way that's proportionate. Don't praise them in a way that's out of sync. But actually, and people will see, you know, when you are disproportionate, and they will pick out the sincerity. Yeah, just you can find a tiny little quality, and then make it proportionate. The glorification.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Jali Mataji.
I'm just thinking about Krishna consciousness practice welcoming everybody despite their you know, their disposition.
Yes.
So even a demon, a bit like the statement about a demon never cares for any good instruction. He's just like a determined thief.
Yeah.
There's a story, I believe, between Prabhupada and a young lad who came to steal his watch, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
And by giving him that opportunity, he turned his life around.
Uh-huh.
It's just the skill you use to welcome everybody and try to steer them in the right direction, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
So that is, so we don't class them as demon and reject them, do we?
Yes.
I mean, you
No.
welcome individuals, any living being as part of your community and your life and the universe. So
Yeah.
you don't harm anybody. And I think that's a good example when he actually took his watch off and give it to him. So you don't have to steal it. Here you are. And it really made his mind a bit calmer and help him to take up a better life and join the community. And he made a good devotee, didn't he? I mean, he became a real pure devotee.
Yeah.
Is that right? I forgot his
Yes,
name.
Mataji.
Haridas Thakur, was it?
I can't remember the devotee also or the pastime, but a devotee Prabhupada says should be expert, very expert. Like when Prabhupada first went to the Bowery, he was giving a class. A drunk man came there, completely drunk, carrying a few rolls of toilet paper. So he came drunk, walked through the middle of the class, took a few toilet rolls and left it under the sink, and he went away. Prabhupada was saying, just see, he's a drunk, but he's rendering service to us.
Yeah.
You read that in Prabhupada Lilamrita. So devotee is expert, see some good and make them devotees. Make them.
Yes, absolutely. I do believe in that.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Haribol.
Hare Krishna. So.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Divya Gaurangi Mataji.
I had one query in connection to the, just now Hema Mataji was also asking about praising and envy, and then I was not sure whether I should ask, but then I thought I will ask. Prabhuji, sometimes it is nice that we praise and we genuinely praise senior devotee or devotee who's done good service. But then sometimes what happens is that it kind of becomes a habit for them to get this praise, and when it does not come from you often, they might be offended or there is not much reciprocation with you. So how to take that relationship forward, because we are human beings, we cannot just continuously supply the praising also. Sometimes it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, because we don't want to base a relationship on that basis. Because then there is not genuine, like feeling coming from the other party who can be senior. So how do we go forward with that?
Yeah, that is such an important point you made. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, he who praises me is my enemy. And even senior devotees of Vaishnavas, it's this paradox, isn't it? They don't want praise, but we feel we should give them praise. So there are people that are deserving of praise, and there are certain people, again, we were talking about compassion, Mataji, and we could see that someone, is just like praise is food for them, then we're not doing them good by feeding them praise just because we feel that they need it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that is not going to do them much good. You're not acting as their friend. So when we're talking about praise, it was mainly in the context of to somebody that we were feeling some envy towards, and how to rid ourselves of that envy. That was the context of what we were saying, to praise devotees. And certainly, Prabhupada says the formula, to those that are younger and junior to us, we show mercy. To those who are equal to us, we make friends. And to those that are superior to us, we serve and glorify them. And that is a good yardstick. And also among friends, we can praise each other, but we should. Friends are more. I consider who my real friends are, that those who help me, that point out my faults, and not so much those that are trying to glorify or praise me.
Yeah.
So I consider more devotees that help me and show me the path.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you for that explanation. It really helped me to understand. But just one query was that if we cannot continuously praise and that devotee is senior, but then the reciprocation stops with you in terms of relationship, then is that my yardstick to understand where it is going? Then yeah.
There's a few things, Mataji. In Krishna consciousness, we should understand that not everyone will be our friend, and not everyone can be close to us. And
Yes.
if our relationship with someone is dependent on us praising them, and we feel some negativity when we don't praise them, then we should not try to progress that relationship anymore, or try to invest in it. We shouldn't try to invest it because it doesn't really do us good. Srila Rupa Goswami says, even if you have just 4 friends, 4 close friends, that is enough. You don't need other people to be praising you, or you don't need to be praising, and it's an unrealistic expectation to have, this amazing relationship with everyone.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yeah, I really like that point whereby someone who finds faults in me is my true friend, I think, because then it gives me a real chance to improve or see where I'm going wrong. And they are really doing me a favor by showing my faults to me. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for that question and comment.
Hare Krishna.
So thank you, everyone, for your nice questions and patient listening. And we shall see you all tomorrow. I'm not sure who's giving the session tomorrow, but thank you. And let us continue with our absorption in the Lord's pastimes as we move towards Janmashtami. So all glories to all of you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful class.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna.